Our pollies have just given themselves a 30 grand pay rise. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your hashtag not sponsored cheap instant coffee and let's talk about this article I've discovered about Tasmanian MPs giving themselves a 30 grand pay rise. So let's look at this one here, guys. So, Tasmanian MPs to receive $30,000 pay rise against the government's wishes after an upper house tussle. So, wait, they're fighting with the, isn't it two wings of the same bird? They still are getting the 30 grand pay rise. I mean, to be brutally honest, with the cost of living crisis that is going on throughout all of Australia right now, feels like, well, throughout the entire world, to be quite honest, maybe they need a pay rise. Maybe, 30 grand? You know what, that's a fair amount of food, a fair amount of petrol. It could be a small percentage of a house deposit, even in Tasmania. Australia's so screwed when it comes to housing. It really is. We're so screwed. We are so screwed. I mean, 30 grand. Yeah. Can you get a car for 30 grand? You can get a second-hand car, definitely for 30 grand. Can you get a new one? Maybe a little one. I'm looking at all the big ones, guys. I got to get myself one of those HeiseSays. Pretty much, I'll be doing the equivalent of an airport bus shuttle run just to drop my kids at school. That's. So let's look at this. 30 grand. I mean, who wouldn't want a 30 grand pay rise? They'll receive a 22% pay rise. 22%. And we see articles where, teachers are complaining, they want like a 5%, a 10%. All these civil servants are the same. All of them. They just want more and more money. I guess where's the competition? They get fired every 4 years here. They probably need to keep up with the bureaucrats that are all around them getting paid even more. So, Upper House MPs voted to accept a determination by Tasmania's Industrial Commission. So a bunch of civil servants on the outside on a panel decided. So that it's not the politicians. No, we didn't give ourselves a $30,000 pay rise. No. It was this body, this separate body here. They're completely independent, I'm certain. Why don't we vote? I mean, we really could. You could vote. Everyone gets on their phones. How much do you want your politician to be paid? And I guarantee you they would get a reasonable amount. The market would decide. It would decide. Tasmania's Industrial Commission in June determined that MPs whose pay had been frozen since 2018, okay? Yeah, but still, should have their base pay, so they get all the extras on top, rise to 171,000 from 140,000 and change. So, yeah, I mean, 140 doesn't go that far anymore, does it? 170 doesn't go that far anymore. Average household, you'll need more than that. But then again, if you look at the minimum wage, but then again, you want people that are a bit higher caliber than minimum wage earning, representing and making decisions and debating in Parliament. Although, come to think of it, it feels like there are a few of them that wouldn't get anything close to this in the private sector. But still. The pay increase would still leave Tasmanian MPs with the lowest base pay of any politicians in the nation, but only slightly behind New South Wales at 172, Western Australia 173, and the Northern Territory 175. Premier Jeremy Rockliff's pay will increase to almost $369,000, a rise of almost $68,000, while ministers will receive a base salary of $291,000. So, getting 300 grand, you're getting to decent income here, serious amounts of money. So, Mr. Rockliff says he personally will be rejecting the 22% increase, but will instead take a 3% rise in line with the government's recent offer to public sector workers. Okay. Good. It's good to see. But then again, he's already on $300,000. a year. So, honestly, I mean, people say money can't buy you happiness. It can reduce what you have to worry about. Okay, I agree that it's not going to be the source of all your happiness. It shouldn't be an idol that you worship or something that you just strive for at the expense of other things. But you want to have enough that you're not stressing week to week or month to month. You don't want to have to worry about getting enough money to buy shoes for the kids, pay for swimming lessons, or if there's a disaster that happens, you know, your fridge broke or your car had issues, that you can't draw upon the resources necessary to sort that out. And you don't even necessarily need a huge pay income stream to make that happen. You just need, decent buffers. But on 300 grand a year, I mean, you're at a point there where any extra money is just cream. So, but good on him. He has to, as the leader, he needs to set an example. He'd moved to block the pay rise, saying the determination was out of step with community expectations. Yes, yeah, but is there ever going to be, in all honesty, is there ever going to be a time when anyone would say, oh, these politicians are doing such a good job, they need a pay rise? Is there ever going to be a time? Let me know in the comments if you can think of one, because I sure can't. The government's motion to disallow the salary increase failed in the upper house, with Labor and all 8 independent MPs, funny that, instead deciding to accept the Industrial Commission's recommendation. So Labor and all the 8 independents, they want the extra money. I mean, can you blame them? If you're in there as an independent, you're going to get voted in again, probably never not. Maybe this is the only way they can secure, a decent chunk of money. But there you go. I mean, Labor, that's their way, isn't it? And what happened? Remember Lambie? She was from Tasmania, the senator. What happened to her? Wasn't she on Dancing on the Stars because she was broke? She didn't have any savings or any money. I mean, is that concerning for our politicians? I wonder. Can you be barred? You'd have to be barred from being a poly if you go bankrupt, wouldn't you? Like being a director of a company, you can't be if you go bankrupt, or an architect, you lose it, or other professions, if you go bankrupt or financially insolvent, you lose your ability to act in that role. What about our politicians if they don't have a level of financial competence? The motion failed 4 votes to 10. The salary rise would only have been blocked if the disallowed motion passed both houses of Parliament. The motion's failure in the upper house means the pay rise will automatically take effect, and we backdated to July 1. Yeah, well, there you go. Let's see how they're going to justify this 22% pay increase. So, Labour's Sarah Lovell told Parliament the decision on how much parliamentarians are paid has been given to the Commission for a very good reason. Yes, because then you can blame another body for this this act, which is going to look horrible to the public. How many people are there struggling to get by? How many people are struggling to save a house, save a deposit for a house, or even to pay rent? Or are unemployed and are scraping by on the dole or the youth allowance if they're studying, and the pollies are getting a 22% increase. It's not good for democracy for members of Parliament to have any say in their own pay. I wonder if she'd say this if they recommended a decrease in pay to politicians, maybe a punishment for bad economic results. Has that ever happened in anyone's memory? Let me know in the comments. If politicians did such a bad job that they had to get a pay cut, maybe we should tie it to... Oh, no, we shouldn't. No, I tell you what. We should tie it to housing completions. We should tie politicians' pay, not to building approvals, to actual house completions. Fully ticked off, certified 3 times. That should be the measure of their pay. Shit, we'd get stuff built then quick, wouldn't we? I believe this is what would be most in line with community expectation. Oh, come on. Sure. What, Polly's not having a say in their pay or 22% pay rise? After much consideration and discussion with other members of Parliament from all political parties, including Independents, Labor, will not be supporting the disallowance. Independent Beck Thomas said the decision should be left to the independent umpire and said there would be outrage if other public servants had had their pay frozen for such a long time. Really? Really? No, I don't think so. I guess, maybe if you're embedded in the system, sure. Imagine the outrage if nurses, public servants, paramedics, police officers, or construction workers even were not provided with a salary increase for 7 years, she said. What about, this just shows you the difference of these people. The world they live in is different compared to business, to small business, to other business, where you're competing in the market, where you can put, you're competing for fees for jobs. And you might not necessarily be able to put your fees up year after year after year. And your costs go up. You have to get more competitive. You have to be more nimble. We can't outsource our politicians overseas. Feels like we're doing it. We can't outsource our civil servants overseas. Maybe we should. Maybe the AI bots will save us some money there. There would be strikes and public outrage and media outrage in support of those workers. In no other industry would it be acceptable for workers to be in this position that the Parliament has put us in today. Why not? If a company is going down, sure you could be. Ms. Webb said politicians who wanted to reject the pay rise could simply opt to reimburse the state or donate the extra money to charity. That's not a decision that should be based on whether or not you personally want or need a pay rise, she said. We have a responsibility to lift our consideration of this above the personal. This decision is about a very clear principle we expect for all Tasmanians: fair pay and fairly assessed annual increase. No. You don't always get an annual increase. Not necessarily. What's so good about Tasmania? What's so good about your performance? It should be performance-based. If they've done a shit job for years, maybe their pay should be part of their election promise every year. We get a proposal. When we're voting them in, they say what they're going to pay for the next 4 years. Then the next 4 years. I wonder if that'd make a difference. If you have one political party that will screw the country but pay themselves nothing, they'll find a way. Ms. Forrest said MP pay was political dynamite and politicians should play no part in deciding it. We should not be able to amend or reject the umpire's decision. Oh, how convenient. Has the umpire ever deducted their pay for doing a crap job? And that's wrong. It's inappropriate. I'm so disappointed to find ourselves here. State servants offered 3% rise. In the upper house, Government Minister Kerry Vincent said the government was committed to responsible financial stewardship and pointed out that it had recently offered a 3% annual pay rise to state servants. So it was, hang on, you know what, let's look up what is Tasmania's state debt. Tasmania's state debt is projected to reach approximately 11 billion in 28-29, with estimates suggesting it could rise to 13 billion by 2028 without corrective measures. So maybe, rather than all this hoo-ha about just a 3% pay rise or a 22% pay rise, we should be looking at, getting your house in order, Tasmania, to reduce your debt. Let's have a talk about this one, guys. I mean, it is political dynamite. I mean, 30 grand pay rise, it's in the headlines. I mean, they're not, you'd expect, honestly, I thought they were getting paid more than under 150 grand a year. Okay? Because that's going to affect who bothers running for some of these roles. I mean, how many of you watching this channel right now tonight would take a pay cut to be a politician? It's a shit job. The hours are terrible. You don't do any real work. You just sit on committees all the time, a whole lot of talking. You're up for renewal every few years. For a pay cut? So, and for the people, that's a huge leap. Do you want that level of skill, no offense, in Parliament? So I appreciate both sides of it, but it's looking bad. And the debt's just growing. Tasmania has to do something. Let me know your thoughts on this one, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.